Why do you support Trump?
Most of my beliefs come from religious perspective, like pro-life, and then immigration policies. That's the basis of it.
Okay. I don't think it's possible to be MAGA and be pro-life. Yeah. I think that if you're pro-life, it would necessitate, logically speaking, that you support the Democrats over the Republicans. Do you want me to tell you why?
Sure.
Yeah, because a Lancet study indicated that the Doge funding what Doge did specifically in cutting USAID funding will lead to 14 million people dying by 2030, according to a Lancet study. So you would save significantly more people if you voted in Democrats who wouldn't have cut the USAID funding, which will lead to 14 million people dying by 2030, again, according to a Lancet study.
Wait, what are they dying from?
Okay, so the USAID is something that we funded from a foreign policy standpoint. It acts as soft power and provides a cost-effective mechanisms to reduce the likelihood of people dying relating to disease spreading, which could harm us as well, relating to lack of food access and basic humanitarian conditions. So it's very cost-effective mechanisms to reduce the likelihood of millions of people dying, tens of millions of people. Since USAID has been enacted, around 90 million lives have been saved.
Okay. I mean, that seems like a good point. From what I've seen, most of the Democrat ideologies revolve around pro-choice type of stuff. So that's why I would continue to vote conservative. But that does make sense. That seems like a good study.
Okay, so since this is true, and this would indicate that significantly more lives would be saved under Democrats, wouldn't that be a reason to support Democrats over Republicans? If you want to save lives, if you are pro-life?
I don't think I could ever align myself with the Democrat Party. That does seem like a good thing that they got on their side.
Then you can't say you're pro-life.
No, I definitely am.
No, you're not. Because if you wanted to save human lives, you would support the Democratic position's policies, which would save significantly more lives, millions more lives, than the Republicans. Trump's policies in overturning Roe versus Wade haven't even led to less abortions happening. Did you know that more abortions have happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade in 2022?
Well,
So yeah, it hasn't led to less abortions.
well, I mean,
Seems like you just bought the lies of con man Donald Trump.
listen, I may have voted for Trump. I wouldn't say this presidency is as good as his last one. But with that being said, I'm definitely still conservative. One thing I will say is ICE definitely hasn't carried out the way that I thought they should. Like the woman who was shot, I forget her name. I think that totally could have been prevented. I do still think ICE is a good institution. And when it comes to immigration, and I don't really understand all the stuff happening in the Middle East, but gas prices in Texas have started to drop significantly within the past couple weeks. That's just a couple things that I've noticed recently.
So her name was Renee Good, by the way. And then also, so you support border enforcement. You know, Democrats don't want to criminalize undocumented entry. They just want to make the legal process go quicker.
I mean, that would make sense, but it does seem like there's a lot of undocumented immigrants voting in blue states like California.
No, there's not. That's actually a lie made by Republicans, so they can try to push their voter suppression bill. The Save America Act is a voter suppression bill. Because there's not, even the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, has investigated this and found literally no evidence indicating that undocumented immigrants vote at mass, right, or vote to influence elections. There's very few cases of that being true, even from the Heritage Foundation, which is a right-wing think tank that wrote Project 2025, which is the basis for how Trump's administration is acting.
So when Nick Shirley went in to investigate fraud, do you think, in LA specifically, do you think a lot of that was staged or false?
I think that he is trying to make light of things that oftentimes aren't true. So specifically in California, he for example tried to call out something that was literally just a rental apartment, and the apartment was above the building. And he just like was like, well, I see no apartments here, and like the apartments were right above the business he was looking at. So like there's countless situations where Nick Shirley, just because he's not smart, is often not going to be a very good investigator or pushing information that actually leads to anything productive. Plus, he's going after areas specifically for a political message and for partisan campaigning. Florida has significantly more per capita levels of fraud. If he wanted to go after the highest levels of per capita fraud, he wouldn't be going after Minnesota and California that have a significantly lower per capita fraud rate than Florida.
I mean, that makes sense. I don't know what else to say.
Like, tell me why you support Trump. Like, what could Trump do that would get you to stop supporting him?
The one thing I don't like that I've seen is the selling off of public lands. Like the one thing that I do lean Democratic with is environmental stuff. So that's kind of hard for me to swallow. But
Oh, well, then he's done that. So, like, I mean, I think you agree with the Democrats on that then.
no, I do. I'm definitely
So,
more moderate conservative, but I just didn't want to vote Kamala.
well, I feel like that's the moderate thing to do because Trump is so extreme.
Yeah, but
You might not agree with all of Kamala Harris's policies, but she's a lot closer to your position than Trump is because Trump's trying to undermine our core framework, whether it be our democracy, our constitution, our rule of law. He's acting as an authoritarian, trying to violate due process rights. Like, I mean, I think he fundamentally is undermining more of your core values than anything you could attribute to Harris. So I think she's clearly a better alternative if you care about this country going back and forth in terms of from a moderate standpoint, right? You want this country to be on a track for stability, right? Donald Trump
Uh,
is volatile. He reduces the stability.
I'm not sure what to say to that, but I mean, I can understand both sides.
How do you understand the Republican side when Trump has called for the execution of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders? He's pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers and called them patriots. He sent false slates of electors to electoral college to cast Trump votes when he didn't win to try to steal the election in 2020. He called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. There's countless examples I can point to of Trump that aren't just like little tiny things that you could overlook, but rather things that he's doing to try to undermine the core fabric of what this country is predicated off of.
You said he wanted to execute.
Yeah, he called for the execution of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders if you're given them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
If that was true, would that be a reason to stop supporting him?
Oh, I don't think so. I've seen so much stuff, allegations that don't seem to have any backbone to them. Like that. So I've seen a lot of your debates, like about how he's a racist and stuff. And I also listened to Charlie Kirk and a lot of other people, and they've given a lot of good examples about how it was just allegations getting thrown out that he was a racist, stuff like that.
No, he is, and also Charlie actually didn't know anything about this. He just trusted the Trump family because he was close to them and friends with them. He actually said that E. Jean Carroll claimed she was a in a Tiffany's, which was never the case. It was Bergdorf Goodman. So like he actively didn't know like anything about the case, and he was just disputing it simply because he was already in right-wing media. And also 27 plus people have accused Donald Trump of misconduct. Do you think every single one of them are lying?
I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know.
Okay, if it's hard to say that, along with the fact that he's been held civilly liable of abusing women, along with the fact that he's admitted and bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where two 18-year-olds came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. He bragged about grabbing women by the vagina without asking, and he's done countless other things specifically that show a pattern of behavior relating to being a
again, I've only heard allegations. I haven't seen any proof. So like,
what is proof to you?
I don't know, like video evidence or something.
You need to see video evidence of someone being a to believe that they've been a.
It seems to be the way things go.
Do you believe
days.
the victims of Epstein, sir, who got settlements with the Epstein estate, their accusations against Epstein relating to abuse and trafficking?
No, yeah, I believe that.
Even if there wasn't a video, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you do. So you don't need a video, one. And two, since you believe that, you also believe one that implicates Trump, because Jane Doe 4 specifically got a settlement with the Epstein estate for her accusations relating to Epstein about abuse and trafficking, and she also accused Epstein of trafficking her to Trump. So if you believe all the accusations from victims of Epstein who got settlements with the Epstein estate for their accusations against Epstein relating to abuse of trafficking, well then actually you believe an accusation that then implicates Trump. You have to swipe back into the app for me to be able to hear you, sir.
Oh, sorry. Dude, I really don't know. Like, you're bringing up good points, but all I've seen is just back and forth
Yeah,
allegations.
well, just take a look. Look up NPR investigation into DOJ scrubbing files associated with interviews with allegations against Trump. Why are they scrubbing the allegations if they're false?
I mean, yeah.
Why is he preventing the release of the Epstein files if there's false information in there? Wouldn't he just release it like all the other accusations that they've already released in the files that they claim are false?
Yeah, no, he definitely should have released the entire thing.
So why isn't he releasing all of it? Does he not want justice for the victims, or is he trying to keep people accountable?
Dude,
Or prevent people from being held accountable?
I have no idea. That's like one of the other things this presidential campaign that hasn't made sense.
Okay. So if it hasn't made sense, maybe that's a reason to stop supporting him, right?
Well, like, I probably wouldn't vote for Trump.
Okay.
James Fishback is a candidate that I really like.
Can you name one of his qualifications?
No.
Okay. Can you name one thing that he's done?
No.
So, I mean, I guess, like, what do you like about him? Also, he's polling at, like, 5%, right?
One of the things that I like about him is it's not funded by AIPAC.
Okay. Alrighty. But just because someone's not funded by AIPAC doesn't mean that they are going to be a great candidate. Because he's, like, genuinely has no good policies, has no qualifications. He has no business running for governor.
I mean, I don't know. I just like everything he said on social media.
And also, like, as governor, how are you going to impact that? How is foreign policy as relevant? Isn't, like, the governor in, like, those particular, like, state positions, aren't they, like, hyper-specific to, like, local policies, domestic policies, and it's not really a foreign policy sort of conversation? So, like, what good does that do for you?
I mean, not much.
Okay. Maybe you should, like, not support Trump then, the guy that Bibi Netanyahu says is the greatest ally that Israel's ever had in the Oval Office. Sounds like you were saying that you don't support him anymore, though, right?
I wouldn't vote for him again, but
Okay.
I would vote for him over Kamala.
You said you would vote for him over Kamala Harris, so you still do support him.
Yeah, but it would just be like if it was those two. I think it's
Yeah,
just
that's what the last election was, right?
Yeah, it was. But I like his last campaign was a lot better.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else, or actually, is there anything that Trump could do that would get you to say that you wouldn't vote for him in that context?
There's a lot that he could do.
Give me any specific examples.
I don't know, open the border, make abortion legal, continue to sell off public land, that kind of stuff, I guess.
So he has sold public land. He has kept abortion legal because he wants to be legal depending on state. And then if you want to go over open border, do you think that there was an open border under Biden?
A lot more immigrants got let in, that's for sure.
Was there an open border?
I'm not sure, but...
Okay, so what do you define as an open border, sir?
Like no wall.
No wall? There's currently no wall. It's only a very small portions of the border, less than 1/4 of the border is covered by wall.
I know multiple people who work for Border Control and Homeland Security, and it's pretty secure right now.
Yeah, without a wall. So liberals were right. You can secure the border without there being a wall.
Yeah, but it seems like a lot more people get let in without a wall.
We don't have one right now.
You're saying there's no wall?
Well, I mean, there is a wall, but that specific wall isn't the entirety of the border, right? It's less than 1/4 of the border overall, and that includes refurbished wall, by the way, right? Not even wall that was newly built by Trump.
What about the river that borders Mexico and
the Rio
Texas?
Grande?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about it?
Like they put a lot of stuff in the river.
Yeah, but that's not a wall, is it? And also that's like also humanitarian crisis, because like people going through that area, you want it to increase the likelihood that they'll die. Why wouldn't you just want to like detain them once they make it to the US? Why would you want to make it more unsafe so that more people die on that trek?
Well, I think the point of it is they see it and they decide not to cross.
Does that really work?
So far there hasn't been a whole lot of crossing.
Okay. And so you think the way to stop crossing is to make things dangerous and to make it so that more people die? You think
They
that's
say to make people die.
that's like actually what happens when you like put stuff into the water to like prevent people from making it across, that like causes people who do choose to do so to have a harder time in getting across, which increases their likelihood of death.
Well, like that seems like a personal problem. Like, why don't they see that?
Are you Christian,
and
sir?
not? Yeah,
Aren't you supposed to treat foreigners as your native born?
but there's also borders.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like you're doing that.
What do you mean?
That sounds like you were okay with them being mistreated because they're foreigners.
That's not mistreating them. It's just keeping
That
them
is
out.
absolutely mistreating them. You treating them the same as your native born.
Well, they're not here.
Okay, but the Bible tells you to treat them as your native born. Love thy neighbor.
But there's also borders in the Bible. There's a border between the
Yeah,
heaven
and
and
even
hell.
if there are borders, you still treat people, right, regardless of whether they're foreigners or not, the same, right? That's what the Bible says to do, right?
I like you should obviously treat thy neighbor kindly, of course. But dude, there's what's the
Do you think Trump does that?
does what?
Treats people kindly?
I mean,
Do you think Trump serves as a good example?
definitely very powerful. He seems to have a lot of
Yeah.
influence.
One good quote that I've heard recently is that we don't just we don't just lead by the example of our power, but we lead by the power of our example. Right? So like, it's not just that you're a powerful individual. It's what do you represent for the country? What does that show for this country and for the entire world as a whole? And what does that establish as a precedence that then will impact people not only just right now, but for generations to come?
Yeah, I don't know.
You want to know where that quote comes from?
Sure.
Joe Biden. That's actually a Joe Biden quote.
Pretty good. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Yeah. No, nothing else. Appreciate you coming up. Hope you
Sure.
keep looking at these things.
All right. Appreciate the debate.
You as well. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates, everybody. I do have some people to thank, but let's make sure to get on to this next individual. Only do send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. Only do send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18, everyone. We are just looking for debates.